Welcome again to Las Vegas. For the first time in boxing history, 3 World Heavyweight Championships are at stake. The ultimate fight for the ultimate goal. Yes, the WBA and the WBC champion Iron Mike Tyson faces the IBF holder Tony TNT Tucker for the undisputed World Heavyweight crown. Coincidentally, it was 9 years ago in this same vast hotel complex behind me, the Las Vegas Hilton, that the last undisputed World Heavyweight champion was crowned. That was when Michael Spinks stunned the world by beating the legendary Muhammad Ali. Some 7.5 years later, 18 months ago, that flamboyant promoter, Don King, dreamt up and set up the road back to unification. The impossible dream, as he called it, started at the beginning of 1986. By the spring, 3 definitive champions were established. Tim Witherspoon had taken possession of the WBA crown with a hard-won points victory over Tony Tubbs. Trevor Berbick defied the odds against Pinklon Thomas to become the WBC title holder, and Michael Spinks, with his second controversial win over the luckless Larry Holmes, was still the IBF champion. Now, new contenders entered the scene to make their pitch for the undisputed world title. First up was our own Frank Bruno. Well, the Wembley Roar supported his challenge for Tim Witherspoon's WBA championship, but he couldn't withstand the American's power and persistence.
Both landed their best shots together there, and it's Bruno who was hurt the most, I would think. He's got to try and grab and get his way out of trouble here. Off on the top of the head, the left hook. He's starting to go to pieces in the corner, and he's breaking up a bit now, and he's hitting him while he's down. He's got to get him up, and the towel has come in from Terry Lawless's corner.
No success for Bruno, nor for the European champion, Steven Tangstad. The Norwegian was thoroughly outclassed in 4 rounds by Michael Spinks in his second defense of the IBF crown. But the 19-year-old sensation from New York, Mike Tyson, made an explosive impact with a dynamic display against the WBC holder, Trevor Berbick, to become the youngest world heavyweight champion in history.
I think Berbick's come in tonight to show how brave and how tough he is. He's done that all right, but that's not enough to hang on to a title. There he goes.
There was a delay with that one. It was a peach of a punch in boxing terms. Completely gone. The legs are buckled under him there. He's really like a kid stumbling in a playpen.
Suddenly, James Bone Crusher Smith found himself in contention, with Tony Tubbs opting out of a return with Tim Witherspoon. Smith came in as a replacement and provided the biggest shock of the series with a first-round, 3-knockdown demolition of WBA champion Witherspoon. For Smith, the dubious reward of a confrontation with the Iron Man Mike Tyson. And for the first time in the series, 2 titles were at stake, the WBA and the WBC. Smith came to survive. He danced, he mauled, and he jibed at Tyson. The young fireball was confused and frustrated, but nonetheless won virtually every round to become the WBA and the WBC champion. While Tyson was awaiting the final unification fight, he took a challenge from the once fancied Pinklon Thomas, and in round 6, the young man unleashed a devastating onslaught.
Oh, he got the job done there. I think he must have heard you there, Jim. What a peach of a left hook that was. And he's going to do it in the 6th because he's only midway through, and this is the way he finishes him off now. The master of the finishing stuff. What a fighter, absolute ferocious, and what a game man. He took every punch in the book there, Pinklon Thomas. He is not going to make this in the 6th round.
Now the IBF title was surrounded by controversy. Champion Michael Spinks decided to run away from Tyson, and by doing so, relinquish the crown. And so on the Tyson-Thomas bill, top contender Tony TNT Tucker took on the number 3 James Buster Douglas for the vacant title. With a convincing display over 10 rounds, Tucker took control of the IBF division and lined himself up for Tyson and the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Tucker comes to this confrontation with the overwhelming favorite Mike Tyson as an unprecedented underdog, 15-1 against. And with only 1 appearance in this unification series, he's very lucky to be involved in this final installment. His good fortune stretches back to 1980. That year, President Carter declared a boycott of the Moscow Olympics. The disappointed US boxing team scheduled a series of exhibitions in Europe, but tragedy struck en route to Poland. Their plane crashed and there were no survivors. However, the star of the team, Tony Tucker, missed the flight because of an injury sustained the day before.
It really hit me because I said, I was that close, to being dead along with the rest of the guys. So I figured that God spared my life for a purpose.
Well, 4 days ago, Tony Tucker said that he would beat Mike Tyson because God was on his side. And Tyson's retort, if God is on his side, God bless him. Well, both camps have been dogged with controversy in the run-up to this fight. Tony Tucker has faced legal complications, a writ to claim $500,000 from his purse, followed by an injunction. And as far as Mike Tyson is concerned, well, there have been rumors that he's constantly arguing with his trainer, Kevin Rooney, that he's regularly missing workouts, and of course, one mustn't forget that pending charge for assault. How much all of this will affect the two unbeaten fighters, we shall soon see. Now, because of this sizzling desert heat here in Las Vegas, just 2 hours ago it was up to 110 degrees, the fight is indoors. So let us go inside the Hilton Center now and join our ringside partnership, the former world lightweight champion Jim Watt and Reg Guttridge.
He's fidgeted the whole time coming in now, Tyson. He's worked up quite a Tucker, I should say, quite a sweat. There's his record then, as I say. 30 knockouts or stoppages, that's good stuff. But he struggled a bit last time against James Buster Douglas. And there's his record there, and he really just total concentration, this fellow. You just wind him up, put him on rails, there's no reverse gear. Only 3 people have stayed the course with him, and he did win those fights clearly, I have to emphasize that. So now let's see what Mills Lane has to say.
Any question, Mr. Tyson, the chief second. Let's get it on, come on.
So there it is then, let's get it on Mills Lane, and what an advantage in reach Tucker's got, 81.5 against 71. That's tip-to-tip wingspan measurements, and he'll need it, I suspect. And they both scored quite a lot of wins in the opening round, 15 Mike Tyson, so they're not going to hang about on 11 Tucker. Hope you don't look down at your program or blink here at ringside, especially if you paid $750. Oh, what a start. Well, if he's going to impose that implacable will on him from the start, Tyson, he needs to do it well. He's a very confident character indeed, Tony Tucker. Was a great amateur. And at least he's an athletic-looking heavyweight. That certainly makes a change. We know that wearing a foul-proof protector and now gum shields is obligatory, but with some of these rather fat American heavies around, they could qualify for a bra as well. What a start. Anybody had any thoughts about Tyson carrying somebody? He's just not capable of that sort of thing. 20th century caveman, this fellow.
Come on, here we go.
Well, a good stiff left-hand jab now is a sort of prerequisite to keep off a slugger like Tyson, and Tucker can use that a bit. I've seen quite a bit of him in his early days. But whether he can soak up that famous punch that Tyson has, and he caught the champ, I was going to say the champion, they're both champions, of course. This is the final piece of the jigsaw for the unification now, and it's taken 18 months to get it together and 10 fights. What a good start, Jim. This is brilliant, halfway through the first.
A tremendous start, but I think Tucker should be thinking defence for at least the first round, possibly the first 2, because as we know, Tyson in the past really looks awesome in the first couple of rounds. Then he settles down, waiting for the chances to come. But he's looking for the chances at this moment, so I think Tucker would be well advised to think defensively, just smother him if he gets inside and try and pick him with the odd counter punch.
Well, Tucker might have done his homework a bit. He's picking some good counter punches. I shouldn't think any of the alleged troubles that Tyson seems recently is the slightest bit bothering him by the way he started this fight. As I say, both came in at 221 pounds, 15 stone 11. A little bit heavier Tyson than he was last time against Pinkland Thomas, 2¼ pounds, so it doesn't really mean much. He's a good punch picker, Tony Tucker, Jim, isn't he? As we come up to the end of the first round.
Well, Tucker has nailed him with some good right-hand counter punches. Obviously hasn't troubled Tyson at all. But it hasn't just been a survival first round for Tucker. He's had plenty of action of his own, but under fire at the end of the round.
Oh, and they want to go on after time as well. This is some needle fight. I tell you, this Tyson dragged it out of him. The worst thing you can do is to, as they say in the American game, bad mouth Tyson. Jim, look at this replay.
Yeah, plenty of action in that round, and what we expect to see Tyson coming forward, but Tucker giving really as good as he got throughout the first round. Quite a sensible first round from Tucker. Didn't take too many chances, but at the same time threw plenty of leather back.
So out for the second then. And if this keeps up, what a fight. Scheduled for 12, remember, not 15. Sort of the fragmented game of boxing sorted it out with all these various ruling bodies, and they've given him to the WBC version of 12 rounds. But that just might be academic the way that's going anyway here. Well, he's looking a lot better, Tucker, Jim, than he did against James Douglas on the same bill when Tyson fought Pinkland Thomas, isn't he?
Yeah, well, believe it or not, I don't think there'll be so much strain on him tonight. I mean, that was his big night to become champion. Here he's a 12-1 underdog, so although it's not the best position to be in, it certainly takes the strain away from you. But again, under pressure here from Tyson.
Step back clean, both of you.
You're always looking for those flaws now in Tyson's fighting, but you know, as you well know, of course, all the great sluggers from Marciano to all of them, they got caught coming in, but they simply wore you down like a virus in the end, and a painful one at that. 6'5" now, Tucker. And the boxers who have been, of course, with Tyson have all been around that height. He does have trouble with the tall ones. Punches to the body, feels close to them as Jim Watt and I tell you, it's just as well you're not on the receiving end with those, Jim. They really are sickening, aren't they?
Yeah, that was a good left hand to the body there, which might be probably Tyson's best idea. Tucker's keeping his head out of trouble, but his body is always well within Tyson's range.
He's a very good trainer, Tony Tucker, that I do know. He might be mixed up on the money side, having his father having sold him a bit in advance, and he's now got to pay his debts a bit. But you can't win them all. It's smart really of Tucker. He's learning from Bone Crusher Smith, who was Bone Clutcher on that night that he went to the full course with Tyson, to smother him a bit when he's got him in close like that. You see, he's not the greatest of infighters, but when he gets close, Tyson is tremendous. What I mean is he doesn't use both hands. He picks one shot normally to move in with, but when he's in there, he's a bit clumsy, Jim, inside like that, isn't he?
Yeah, well, we have said there are a lot of flaws in his technique, but his power more than makes up for that. And
the most interested spectator here tonight is actually sitting in the cheap $50 seats in the back row, Michael Spinks, who was stripped to the championship that Tony Tucker won, and there he is, Michael Spinks, standing and taking the applause as I said it. Coming up for the third then, and as usual in a Tyson fight, all the action. And it seems to me that Tony Tucker could have been a little bit underrated now by the experts, or the so-called experts. If you were to get $1.9 million for this, even if he has got to give most of it back because he's borrowed it in advance.
Step back. Mike, step back. Fine. Keep your punch up. Don't go down there again. Come on.
Oh, well, that's a severe warning for the man who works in the attorney's department in Reno there. Keep the punches up to Tyson.
Get off that neck, Tony. Get off that neck.
The referee's going to have to work hard now, Jim. It's been rough from the start and it's going to get rougher.
Yeah, well, Tyson intimidates all his opponents, and they've all been known to grab hold and do a bit of wrestling. But Tyson must punch in the way in before Tucker has a chance to grab him. See, as soon as Tyson gets close, Tucker's grabbing hold of him, so he has to let the punches go as he's moving in and not wait until he's actually in the clinch.
Good sharp right hand counter punch Tucker's using, but so far Tyson's ignoring them, but can he go on doing that? That 3 times on the turn, but Tyson just takes him on the chin and keeps coming. He's got a pole of a left-hand jab when he tries it too, Tyson. Reach or no reach there, he's certainly found the target with that one, Jim, that pole of a punch that comes in.
Come on.
Yeah, that was a solid jab from Tyson. We don't expect to see the jumps because of the reach he has, but that was a beauty.
He watches so many old-time fight films that he tries to learn a bit from everybody, and well, I wonder if the great Joe Louis would have approved of that, because that was the way he softened up his opponents. He's only taken 1 count in his career as amateur and pro, Tony Tucker, and that takes him to 121 amateur fights. He only lost 6, and he says they were all split decisions, so it shows he's a quality man. Now, can Tyson get him over? Well, they paid a lot of money to come in, the heavy rollers here in Las Vegas, and are having a jeer now when it gets a bit rough close in, and the referee's got to warn them. Good punches these are exchanged, though.
Here you go, Jess. Folks say it refreshes the parts what your other beers can't reach.
Yeah? Guess we'll see about that.
Anything happening, Jess?
No.
Anything yet?
No.
Well, it just goes to show you can't believe all they tell you on the TV.
There ought to be a law against that sort of thing.
Indigestion's miserable. Can't wait to get rid of it. So I've got 3 good reasons for using New Settlers Tums. First, they're fast and effective. That's because second, they come from Settlers. And third, they come in 3 fruit flavours, orange, lemon and cherry. And they don't taste chalky. All that, and they contain calcium too. Tums. Effective and fruit flavoured New Settlers Tums.
I didn't know you use one of those fancy shampoos.
I don't. I didn't know you used a conditioning shampoo. I don't. I didn't know you used the same cream shampoo as me.
I don't. New Head and Shoulders. Lathers so much better, smells so much fresher, and leaves hair looking so good. If you thought it was just an unbeatable dandruff shampoo, don't.
Into the fourth round then. And as I say, the pattern always the same for Tyson. Just chases his man, hounds him down the whole time. Good counter-punching from Tony Tucker. And a long way from the 12-1 or the 15-1 odds that they wanted around here. I said at the start, he's one of the more athletic heavyweights, taking up all kinds of sports before he finally decided that boxing was his best game. And the looping left hook, that is the Tyson favourite, and again, and the crowd acknowledge it, no matter how much they paid to come in. They can see that one from every vantage point in this hall. He's a game enough guy, Tucker, Jim, because he took some good shots there, really without flinching, or noticeably anyway.
Well, Tucker's been under pressure all the way through, maybe getting a little bit untidy here and Marsley not liking that. But Tucker's been under constant pressure, but he's never lost his composure, and we have to admire him for that. Okay, when Tyson gets close, he's tying him up, but those are obviously part of his tactics, of his game plan. But he's putting on a great show and landing some good punches of his own.
Referee risking it a bit there, the little fella. He dives in. He's a good referee. He tends to get a bit noisy with him at times, but he gets the job done. Just tried the right cross there, Tyson, and just missed with that. Almost a transformation in Tucker's boxing from his previous fight with Douglas.
Yeah, well, this is a different type of fight for him, but that was a cracking left hook from Tyson, bang on the button. But Tucker took it well, didn't shake him too much, so what we're finding out, he also has a good chin.
Well, as I said, Jim, he's only taken one count in his long amateur and pro career. That takes some doing because you don't meet mugs all the time in the fight game. So countdown then for the end of the fourth round. So replay there, then. Charging in as always there, and that was the left hook you were referring to.
Come on, Luke, let's go. Second shot. Come on.
Fifth round. And there was quite a lot of betting locally too that Tucker, in fact, would survive more than 4 rounds. I think that was where the most heavy money came.
Step back. Come on. Come on.
They're calling out numbers actually in Tyson's corner. It comes from the original Customato training of Tyson with certain punches and combinations they give numbers to for the fighter to try and remember. So he's playing a bit of bingo in there as well with his punches. But he's ignoring Tucker's counter punches, Jim, and they're really good stuff, isn't it? But Tyson's just taking no notice of them.
When you see a neck like Tyson has, also is keeping his head down and taking the punches high up on the head. But Tucker's been under constant pressure, but he hasn't made too many mistakes. He really has tremendous concentration. He hasn't blinked for a second since the first bell.
That's the old Floyd Patterson type of gazelle punch he used to call that, so almost leaving the floor with the left hook like that. Taught by the same man, of course, the late and really great Customato as a coach. Hey, come on. You can imagine that happening in British boxing with the referees, Jim, can't you? I'm still a bit surprised Tucker hasn't tried to use that reach for the left hand a bit more, Jim, and hit and move stuff.
Yeah, but I think he's a little bit wary to allow Tyson to draw his leads, because either hand Tyson can take you out with it, so it's constant concentration all the time for him. Can't afford to make one mistake, and this type of concentration can tell on you too physically. It can draw it out of you.
So the right hand then for Tyson got the cheers, certainly not from Tucker. The crowd are signalling every punch of Tyson's, Jim, or every successful punch, aren't they?
Yeah, well, you heard after the introduction, the crowd are really with Tyson, and he just seems to be getting that little bit closer to Tucker now. More punches are just whispering by the target now.
But you can't wait on him. You got to take the lead, take the initiative. When you hit him to the ground, push him off, don't grab him. Push him off and attack him. You understand, baby? It's ready for you now. Take control.
To the side, do something differently. You're coming straight and you let him run around. You gotta change up just a little bit, you understand? More jabs, bad intention. Jody punch with bad intention.
6th round, famous last. Having trouble getting off the stool there. What happened there?
Jim? Maybe his gum shield, Reg. I think they forgot to put his shield on. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, it's become obligatory now, by the way, with World Boxing Council for that to go in. They didn't do that on purpose. It's bad seconding. The only reason I said that, he actually collapsed in a fight against Danny Sutton when he banged at knees with him, and I wonder for a minute if he's having leg trouble. It would have been a terrible ending. Well, anyway, that little excitement's over. Tyson now, as Jim Watt said, just getting that inch or two closer when he gets in and make sure those punches are landing. And the famous last word from Tyson's trainer, Kevin Rooney, there, hit him with bad intentions.
Tyson's work has a little bit more rhythm about it now. He's getting a bit more success. Therefore, he's becoming a bit more adventurous, and already in this round, a couple of good punches are landed.
Sit back. Come on, sit back. Watch your neck.
See, the trouble with Tyson, even when his opponents are throwing punches, they're thinking at the same time, as soon as this lands or misses, I've got to get out of here. So they're not really punching with their full power. They're always thinking defence and survival.
And I think I'd be looking for an exit in the ropes a bit lively when Tyson's in full swing. Oh, that one, he shook his head to say it didn't hurt. Well, I'll tell you what, dude, he does take a good shot so far.
Yeah, he's taken quite a few already. But I don't think he's going to discourage Tyson. Tyson will just keep coming and keep throwing him until the final one lands, if it lands.
Well, the countdown as we get it to the 6th round. What a good round this has turned out now. Jim, have a look at this replay, and I might get that right hand coming in. There it is.
Again, tested Tucker's jaw and it passed the test.
And again.
See, that punch is bang on the chin, but then he starts shaking his head above Tyson. No, that didn't hurt me, but rather him than me.
Round 7, scheduled for 12. Originally it was going to be 15. Oh, See, if he doesn't call break the referee, Jim, he's asking for trouble really there, isn't he? He's just saying step back to Tony, he was calling there. You can't blame Tyson. You've got to protect yourself at all times. That's what referees are always saying. He's got to call break. Got that warrior's reflex though, Tyson. He really has. As he said, I wear the back trunk to let him think I'm the bad guy, which he really isn't. Oh, meeting each other head on there with those short punches.
Now, if you get down there one more time, it's going to cost your point. Okay, come on.
So he's warning Tucker now to break clean and to get away from there and the low punch him.
Yeah, he said, go down there again, you'll lose a point. It was the low punches, but it's the first time I've seen a punch going low. I don't know why it's so strict.
Yeah, he was very heavy on Tucker there, I thought. And certainly Tyson didn't complain, and there's no damage to the undercarriage.
Step back, Mike. Step back, there you go.
Oh, yes. A little touch of the right leg of the Muhammad Ali's. They're both here watching this fight at the ringside. Well, that won't impress Tyson. It'll only make him madder. That's like teasing the bull, isn't it?
I think Tucker should leave his concentration where it's been. Just concentrate on the job. Don't start fancy dancing. He's not winning rounds doing that.
Ninth round, 15 stone 11, both boxers, and Jim, at that size, they're fit, these two, aren't they?
Yeah, the two of them in tremendous shape. This has been a cracking pace all the way through.
Oh, step back. Let him go, Tony. Let him go, Mike. Step back. Here we go. Fight out!
There's no way Tucker can change his game plan now, is there, Jim? He's simply just trying to survive. He's certainly not running away as brave as they come. But he's not doing enough to seal the decision now from Tyson, surely.
I think if he wanted to hang on to his title, he would have to be taking some forward steps to try to push Tyson back. I don't know. I think it's an impossible job to push him back, but I think if Tucker wants to win, he's going to have to try and do that. Push him back and get his own punches off first. But he's still thinking defensively, and who can blame him? It's a tremendously strong man in front of him.
Well, the full marks of Tucker, though, he has risen to the occasion for somebody that was a bit of a no-hoper, according to most experts.
There you go, Tony. Let him go. Let him go.
That's the way the referee says, let him go. He's saying it again now, Jim. If I was, he's going to warn Tucker. He wants him to stop holding now and get some punching going. And I said, if he said let him go, I'd be more inclined to say, ref, I wish you'd tie him up and leave him there. So that left-hand jab of Tyson's, as we said, considering the lack of reach there, it really is a hard blow, sort of jarring with it.
I think Tyson gave him a little bit of elbow there. The referee warned for the head, but it looked like a bit of elbow to me.
Keep moving. Let him run around. Break him around. Keep him by surprise. Get him by surprise.
So coming out for the 10th, really it's a bit difficult to think that Tucker could find any strength in the home stretch, as it were. But I'll tell you what, if this goes on the way it is, he can certainly go out carrying his shield a bit, Tucker. He's done himself a lot of good here.
Yeah, this is probably the best fight we've seen Tyson involved in. Because although it's been a defensive campaign from Tucker, he's thrown plenty of punches. He's really tried to give as good as he's got. He's just been outdone by Tyson.
He drenched in a mixture of perspiration and water from the corner there.
I think we're actually seeing Tyson making a couple of complaints here and there. We've had him in the corner. This is very unusual for him.
Yeah, he's pulling his stance up there. Mills Lane, he hasn't missed a trick in this fight. Quite rightly, because it would look like low punches if the trunks start dropping below the foul-proof protector.
All right, watch it, Mike. Come on, one step back. Get that head up, watch that head. Come on.
Getting rooted to the canvas, just that shade more now, Tucker, Jim, do you think?
Yeah, he doesn't have the spring in the legs that he once had, but his chin's still in good order, as we've just seen.
Well, Tucker's track record was so good, as I say, like long amateur career and at the top. And then a pro career with only one flash knockdown, as he called it, and that was an amateur. So we never really doubted his durability.
Let him go, here we go. Let him go, stay back. Let him go, Tony. Let him go.
Just as well they're fighting in an air-conditioned room, Jim. You can imagine how well they were fallen over by now in the heat that we've seen here for a few days.
Yeah, it's too hot out there. I think maybe Tyson, as he gets close, he should maybe showing Tucker a feint, see if he can get Tucker to make his move first. But he's moving straight in and still allowing Tucker to grab hold of him. If he showed a feint, maybe he tried to draw a lead or to force Tucker into making moves. But he's moving right in with the punches. That's better from Tyson, really enough.
Just running out of time in this round, though. Into the 11th round then, and both of them have been over the 12-round course, so they don't seem to be too worried about staying the distance.
All right, let him go, Tony, let him go. Come on, Michael, sit back. Let him go.
Now he's back a little bit more spring in the legs, as we were saying in the previous round, Jim, with Tucker. He's going to start using the ring a little bit more. Got a problem with the glove there. The referee hasn't missed any trick with that one. Some of those short punches to the ribs, Jim, when they're right above us as we're doing this commentary, they're making me wince, and I imagine you suffer them a bit more than me, I suspect.
Yeah, they're solid shots. Here's Tucker again doing silly things. Why does he have to do that? Almost running into trouble, doing the Muhammad Ali stuff. That is the last thing he needs tonight.
Well, he's trying to show off that, hey, I'm staying the course with you, whatever happens. Always got his hands held high, Tyson, is the old Customado teaching. It's not exactly a peekaboo style, Jim, but it's close to it, isn't it? Takes care of himself a bit. See the water bouncing off Tucker's head there as those punches are coming in.
I've reached the stage now, I'm hoping Tucker doesn't make any silly mistakes and goes the distance, because he doesn't deserve now to lose by a knockout. He deserves to lose his title with the dignity of going the full distance, because he has put up a tremendous show tonight.
There's always a great deal of professional pride in boxers, which so many people don't really understand. I know it's all about money, but right now, money's the last thing either of them are thinking of. They just want to win this. It's the pride that counts.
Too close that round. Too close. Finishing over. Take this one. Take this one. Spit that out. 3 minutes. Spit it out. Close round. Last round. Get back. Drink it. Drink it. Last round. Last round.
Usually there. Form a combination. Step to the left. Get in. Don't let him get in off. Let him get in off. This is a push around here. Push so slow.
Stay on. Because this guy was going to try his best to steal this round. You understand? They didn't. They got a shot. And he keeps on going, I don't know. You understand? I want you to look on big. You understand? Get out there and do something before. I didn't think so. Get in that damn
Final round then. A little bit of worry in both corners there. Crucial Tuckers, people were saying, including his father and Luther Burgess, his trainer. And Kevin Rooney was saying, I don't know how the judges are going to go here. He gave the impression he didn't really trust the Nevada state judges, but the fact there's only one, remember, the New Jersey and Venezuela. But the sheer work rate of Tyson now has got him well in front for us, Jim, hasn't he?
Yeah. Also, I don't think the constant warnings that Tucker's had for holding from the referee would help his cause any. I can't. He's never managed to dominate any part of the fight at all. You have to look to Tyson for a clear cut, not an easy points win, but you have to look for a clear cut points win, unless the big one lands in this round. Hopefully not.
Well, it's time for somebody to lower the boom, but I doubt whether they will now, because they've both proven that they're very fit fighters indeed and can take a good punch, and that's what this game's all about. You've got to be able to absorb one.
Step back. Come on. Come on.
He's doing a lot of grabbing in the last round, Tucker. That's against him as well. It's a good round for Tyson. He's very lively, isn't he? Midway through the last then.
Tyson just missed his whisker with a tremendous right hand. They're just half an inch out there.
Oh, come on. We don't need this, thank you. The crowd don't like that either. So relentless, Tyson, that's the thing. He gets tagged and he comes straight back at the opponent. Oh, that's the second one that went past the Willis's gym with adjusted as well. Oh, that one didn't.
See, that's Tucker dropping his concentration again, trying to be smart and puts himself in trouble. He's a silly man.
He's coming out of this fight with a lot of credit. There's no need for that. And there's the clock then. Well, it does look to me as though Mike Tyson's ever broken training the way he's finished this one, Jim. He's as fit as anything.
Tucker actually tried to push him back there. He's actually trying to push Tyson back. This is what I wanted to see, someone trying to push him to see if it's possible.
It's too late now. And the crowd loved it. There's no handshakes at the end. And Tucker raises his hands. I'm afraid more in hope than any serious judgment, surely. And he walks over there to Tyson's corner. And the conversation goes on. Tyson doesn't look terribly amused by it all. He hasn't unwound yet. His adrenaline is still pumped up.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the decision of the judges. We have a unanimous decision. Judge Phil Newman scores 119-111. Judge Julio Roldan scores 118-113. And Judge Phil Graham scores 116-112 for the winner by unanimous decision and undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
Well, a clear enough victory there for Mike Tyson, and I'll tell you, the fragmented world of boxing now at last has got an undisputed champion. Obviously, Michael Spinks is on the outside looking in, so why aren't I in there? But a lot of that was his own fault. He decided to opt out. But it's good to see in this ring, after all this time now, that we now can say we've got one heavyweight champion of the world.
Are you happy with the way you fought tonight?
Not really, because I was trying my best to punch inside. But it just wasn't together today, and he was very intimidating. It was very tough.
Was he better fighter than you thought?
It was very hard to tell because he did a great deal of holding. He threw very fast punches. It was true.
And he really rocked you in the first round.
Yes, he did. He was a very hard puncher.
How did you gather yourself together after that punch? What did that punch mean?
After it hit me, it was history. It went away.
You're not as happy as one would think you would be for being the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Mike.
Because, you know, as long as you make mistakes, I tell you, you have no means to be happy. I'm a perfectionist. I want to be perfect. And I was trying to use my jab more. And it was just a little, because he was holding a lot, but I stopped being frustrated and just continued jabbing most through the round.
Do you feel now that you're the undisputed champion? That really is more meaningful than the other championships in terms of history.
I knew I was the youngest heavyweight champion. I wanted to be Burger. Thank you very much.
So one of the best ideas in boxing history, the Unification Series has reached its climax. Mike Tyson reigns. That's the last chapter, but what about the epilogue? Let's get the views of the people that matter.
We want to fight Tyson. They don't want to fight us because they know from the night an inexperienced guy like Tucker, a decent boxer, gave him problems. You let Michael Spinks get in the ring, a seasoned boxer, knows how to make him pay. We got something for him.
Well, let's talk to the real champ. When do you think you're going to get this crack with Tyson, Michael?
I really don't know. As long as they keep pushing us away, it don't seem like we're going to get it on no time soon.
You don't have any doubts that you can beat this man?
Say what now?
You don't have any doubts that you can beat this man?
I don't have any doubts that I can beat him. I put my little style to work and see how it comes up. But I think I'll give him a run for his money, too.
We will be ready to discuss a fight with Spinks sometime after the summer of '88. The reason for that is a fight with Spinks is a closed-circuit pay-per-view fight. And that sort of fight takes a minimum of 4 to 5 months to produce.
Does Frank Bruno appear in these plans at all?
If Bruno should add credibility, you know, after his last couple of fights, we are concerned that he would not be considered a viable opponent. But Bruno, we believe, is a fine fighter. Judging off his 9 rounds with Bone Crusher Smith, which he won handily, and the 10 rounds with Witherspoon, I think it was more psychological than physical tiredness that caused him to lose.
Very briefly, Bugner beat Greg Page. Could he creep in?
It's most unlikely, but it is possible. If he should become Mike can only thank ranked contenders as a world champion. But if Bugner should get into the top 10, it is conceivable, although most unlikely.
So Mike Tyson rules, and we know that his next commitment is against the top contender Tyrell Biggs, and that's on October the 16th, and you can see it only on ITV. But you know, it's an awesome thought. Mike Tyson has emerged from obscurity in just 18 months to become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. From all of us here in Las Vegas, goodbye.